Where is that hiss coming from? That might not bother anybody but me. Let me go in here and change this title to what it is. The movies talk. We're going to talk about movies today. All right, let me... Oh, hold on. I don't want to copy that link. Why wasn't... Every single time I change the title on YouTube, it takes me twice for some god-awful reason. Braves are playing the last game of the year. Top of the ninth right now in Philly. They're up by 2. 1 out. 2 more outs, and we're out for the season. We at least got the playoffs there. Save. Yes. 2 outs. Ozzie Albies, and it comes down to who's coming up next. Is this Ronald Acuna coming up next? No, it's old Charlie Culberson or Dansby Swanson. Which one's that? They look the same. Charlie Clutch, 0 for 2 with a walk. This isn't a sports talk, by the way. Don't get the wrong idea. We are talking about movies today. I'm just watching the end of this baseball game. Unless something cool happens here, it's about to be it. I usually mute the mic for that as well. It looks like I'm staring at the camera, I'm sure. It looks like I'm just eyeing you down the whole time, but I'm like looking beyond you. And I apologize for that. Oh, what was I doing? I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. All right, now I need to go to Facebook and share that we're live. I'm going to do one of these on Facebook Live one day. Here it goes. Charlie Clutch. He did not swing. 1 and 2 count. And we're getting into the content a little bit. I'm just getting a few things set up. Most folks have probably realized that I like to do that to start the camera feed whenever we get everything going. I should maybe one day go back and edit these things, but that'll get me into video editing software. My goal is by episode 10 more episodes I want to have video editing software. Episode 76 I want to have video editing software. What am I doing here? Live right meow. Paul Grimshaw mentioned me in his comments. Ooh, there's a good movie that we can talk about. All right. Well, there it is. 162 games. All right, let's cut that off. Roll Tribe made the playoffs for the first time in my adult life. Let's also get you one of these here. There we go. Debbie Does Dallas, Patrick Hanna. That's right. That's what we're going to talk about today. All right. And also, I have figured out how to keep the comments up. So anything you guys say while I'm on the video, I'll have a constant feed of it here. There we go. Perfect. All right. Now we're going to go hot on the audio and actually get to some content for you guys. All right, here we go. I'm going to go hot on the audio in 3, 2. I'm doing a countdown like... See, I'm doing a countdown like it matters. And I started recording on the wrong track. Let's go to the right track first. All right. So before I started recording this, I made a fool of myself. Not really. It was kind of funny. I was doing a countdown for recording on audio when I'm the only one here. There's no need for a countdown, Major Tom. All right, so today, you hear how hoarse I am? Today, we're going to talk about movies. There was a conversation on Facebook the other day about Charles Freeman brought up, or who was it? Charles Freeman brought it up, or Nick and was it Nick and no? I know Jeff Thomas mentioned something about it. Anyway, the point of the story is there's a lot of very popular pop culture movies that I have not seen. For instance, I watched Star Wars, the entire Star Wars catalog, for the first time in recent history, like within the last 5 years, like 3 to 5 years. I watched, and this all started because I said that I'm watching Cheers. I just started watching Cheers on Netflix, which I encourage you to do if you've never done, but I feel like I'm the only one who's never watched Cheers. So started watching that. And I was very stoked with that show, and I put on Facebook, I don't know how I've gone this long without watching Cheers. So that sprung the comments that there's a lot of random things. Jeremy Dunham, I think is the one that brought it up. Jeremy from Sweet Sweet. I think, because he was like, is there any other random gems that you haven't seen before? Because I had also, Paul Grimshaw brought up that I remember when I first started watching Friends a couple years ago, and I was like, I can't believe it took me this long to start watching this show because it's great. And I feel the same way about Cheers, but that's the thing. There's really a few movies that normal people my age would have seen that somehow slipped through the cracks for me, and I don't know how. So I'm going to blow your minds a little bit and ring off a couple of them that I haven't seen. I have never seen a single Indiana Jones movie. Not one. Never seen a single Indiana Jones movie. I've never watched a single episode of The Sopranos. Never. Jeff Thomas brought up that because I think we had that conversation during the podcast when he was here. Like, I saw The Goonies for the first time a few years ago. I saw The Princess Bride for the first time a couple years ago. Same with Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I'm sorry, Rocky Horror is just not my thing. I apologize. I know that sets me apart from a lot of folks that listen, and I know a few people who are just aghast right now that I just said that. But I'm sorry, I just can't do the Rocky Horror Picture Show thing. Here's another one I just thought about. Smitty brought it up the other night. I've never seen a single Bill and Ted movie. Not one. I've never. I don't. I don't. I know Keanu Reeves was in it. I don't, and I get a lot of the references, but yeah, I've never seen a Bill and Ted movie ever. So I was gonna bring up, and I'm not just gonna sit here and list things that I've never seen before, which will probably happen throughout the course of this episode. But what I really wanted to bring up is my method of watching movies is very odd. Like, and not necessarily like how I watch individual movies, but I guess when I watch certain movies, like I wonder if anybody else out there is like me. Do you guys watch movies in like for instance, I start watching scary movies around October, around Halloween, and I continue to watch scary movies until the end of the winter. And I pretty much watch exclusively scary things, like scary movies. And I put in a Discord channel, the Small Beans Discord, the other day. I'm like, am I the only one that does that? Do I? Do I? I mean, I feel like I watch like more stand-ups and comedies in the summertime and whatnot. But when it starts to get cold, I really just get a craving to watch nothing but scary movies. And I did wonder if I'm a weirdo. Actually, I don't wonder if I'm a weirdo. I know I am. But I wonder if I'm the only weirdo that does that. So was just curious about that. Any of you guys do that? Patrick Hanna, Patrick Hanna Blue Wrench says Debbie does Dallas in the beginning of the chat here. Which, if you are of age, I encourage you to watch it for nostalgia's sake. It's just so much hair. Anyway, this is and I started writing. By the way, I started writing bullet points, and I know I'm bouncing around as per the usual, and I'm sorry for that. But I started writing bullet points, and as I was writing bullet points, I got 2 or 3 down, and something happened, and it deleted all the bullet points that I had written, and I sort of felt like that was something telling me, you know what, don't use these. Just continue to push forward in what you're doing and try to get better at not disconnecting so many thoughts, And I feel like I do an all right job at tying up loose ends for the most part. But I just wish I would stop starting so many other ends, if that makes any sense. Am I just speaking nonsense right now? I think so. But anyway, about movies, in watching all the scary movies all winter long, there's a certain darkness that I enjoy. And I don't know why I like that and why I feel that way, but we're working on getting to the bottom of these things mentally. So when I do that and when I get into this whole few month long binge of scary movies, I don't know. I'll start feeling like I'll pretend, and I know it's not real. I will pretend that these things are real around me, like or that these things in these movies are happening, just to live in them for a little while. And I love to do that, and I always have ever since I was a kid. I was the kid who had the dream before computers existed that there was a screen that had all of the movies that I wanted to watch in it, because that was my thing. And only if I would have written all that down then. But I've always been very stupidly into movies, and I have sort of gone rogue on doing a complete episode on movies until now, because I feel like I'm just gonna ramble down rabbit holes like I'm doing right now that are pointless and just wasting content, and I'm really sorry for that, but bear with me. My favorite movies are always movies that can make you feel like you have connected with somebody in that movie. And I think that everybody out there has obviously experienced that in a lot of them. But I am one of those weirdos that can plug myself into any situation within that. And I'm positive I'm not the only one that does that. But when you're when you're watching stuff like Silence of the Lambs, which is my favorite movie, or wow, now I just started. I'm sorry, I said Silence of the Lambs, and now I can't think of anything else. So when I'm watching Silence of the Lambs, I like to jump around from all of the characters to see what the world looks like through all of their eyes, and I know that's a creepy thing to do, but I get more out of the movie that way. That way, because I'm one of those people who also I could watch a movie every single day and never get tired of it. Like I can watch Silence of the Lambs every day and never get tired of it. Or even a random decent movie like Jurassic World. I watch Jurassic World every day for at least a couple of weeks. I was going to say months, but definitely a couple of weeks. Either way, I'm very, very weird about that, and I can do that without getting tired of it. So watching something like Silence of the Lambs, where you can watch something repeatedly, I think one of the reasons I can do that is because I can jump from character to character mentally as to who I want to, see life through, which eyes I want to see life through. Hold on a second. Let me gather myself. But I'm not going to use this as a thing where I just have these random revelations about myself, like, oh, so I can jump from character to character mentally, and that's why I watch these movies over and over and over. That's not where we're going with this. What I want to gather, or the point that I want to make throughout this, is just that I really like movies, man. This is awful. I don't know why you people are watching this. So during the winter, when the scary movies are all on the television, and I'm going down Dexter, and I'm watching all these creepy serial killer movies, and I go to walk around Walmart, which I do every day. I walk around Walmart every day for a little while. I don't know why. I just have to get out of the house and do something. But I'll go walk around Walmart, and I'll be whistling, walking up and down the aisles, and I'll be like, these people think that I'm one of the people that I've been watching on Netflix because I think like one of the people that I've been watching on Netflix, and I get really weirded out by that. But also, it's kind of cool. It's kind of fun to plug yourself into that crazy person for a little while, because when you get the opportunity to think like a maniac like that, who just does whatever they want in life and there's no repercussions, there's no rules for these people, and nor can there be, because they're fictional characters, obviously. But isn't it, I don't know, am I the only one that just thinks it's fun to think like those people for a little while? I was talking to Alicia the other day about the Serial podcast, and this was outside of recording, but the Serial podcast just allows people to get inside the heads of some really disturbed people. And the funny thing about all this is that these people are actually pretty intelligent folks generally. They're really, really smart people, and they just have that extra thing that normal people don't have, and that is the ability to take a human life. And that's just not something that most people are interested in. And I don't know, it's fun to put yourself into that thought process for a little while to see what it takes to make somebody capable of doing such awful things, or what they went through to reach that point of whoever they are. I don't know, it's fun. And I know that this is bouncing all around, as I've said before, but this is going to be a pretty short episode, and I'm going to utilize most of the end of this episode to plug a lot of things that are coming up in this month, which is my birthday month. My birthday is October the 14th. There will be an episode that will be released that day because it is a Sunday. It is actually 2 Sundays from today. So in 2 Sundays, that will be, I don't know, I may have some in-betweeners in there. But that's more than likely going to be 4 episodes from today. So we're doing the Pilot House also in Little River with cornbread that day, and that's going to be a fun thing that's going to happen. So there's some words that I just said. I have to say this. This is a random thought. This isn't about movies. This is totally off topic, but it's something that I have to say. I always have a shit time when my birthday rolls around every year. And usually it's my birthday rolls around and I just start getting so fucking depressed and so sad. And I don't know why that is. And that is part of why I just get in this dark, gloomy state, and I want to feel comforted in that dark, gloomy state. So I put on dark, gloomy movies so that I can just, it's comfortable because I don't want to leave where I am, weirdly enough. And I want to feel like, oh, so somebody else lives in this dark place as well. And whether it's fictional people in movies or not, I really have to live in that place with them, if that makes any sense, throughout those months. And in the beginning, it started with my granddad, who you guys have heard me talk about my granddad a lot and know how I felt about him. My granddad's birthday was a few days after mine. So whenever my granddad's birthday comes around and I start thinking about, oh man, all the folks, because my granddad was one of the first people in my life who was very, very, very close to me who passed away. Like my great-grandmother did when I was a few years younger, but my granddad was like, I was a little closer to me than my great-grandmother, obviously, but one of the first feelings of loss was him, and just knowing his birthday's coming around. And then I started thinking about holidays, and I my parents and everybody, they love for me to come around and hang out for holidays and stuff like that. And I love to do things like that, but I know I'm just weird, and this makes me a weirdo, and I'm really sorry to my family and things for that, but I just kind of like to be alone. I just kind of like to do things on my own, and I know that my folks always want me to come and see them and such for holidays and whatnot, but I just get, when it comes time to do things like that, like it sounds like a really fun thing. I'm like, yeah, I'll go hang out with the family for a little while and see them. But then I'll get down to when it's time to go, and I'm like, I love my family. Don't get me wrong, I really love my family, and I enjoy spending time with them. But man, when it just comes time to go, I'm like, I just kind of want to just hang out here and do nothing. And I don't know why that is, but I just can't get past that. And I don't know why I'm that way. And I coming up in the wintertime when like my granddad, whose birthday is right after mine, he passed away on the day before Christmas Eve. He passed away on December the 23rd in 2005, I think. And the year I graduated high school, like a few months after I graduated high school. And it's just, I don't know. And my grandmother on the other side, on the other side, passed away on Thanksgiving. And I just have weird emotional memories around these holidays, and I don't know why that is. I mean, I do know why that is. I just don't know why I can't let go of that. I don't know why it's a problem for me to. I don't know why it's a problem for me to just let go of that. Just to, you know, go on about life because that's what you're supposed to do, right? You're just supposed to go on with life. And I find it very hard to do that in the wintertime. And every year has gotten a lot better. It's gotten a lot better ever since I quit drinking, for sure. Definitely got a lot better since I quit doing so much damn just idiot shit like cocaine and stuff like that. And I mean, not doing any hard drugs or alcohol is a really good thing for your emotions in a what's the word? A fragile time, I guess you could say, you could call it. Wow, I know I'm bouncing all around on this, and I know I don't mean to do that, but I guess I just needed to vent with that. I needed to get that out. It's just Adam Justice is the first one who pointed that out. He was like, around your birthday every year, you just start getting a little ill, and you start getting weird and in a bad state of mind, and it's just it's hard to deal with for people, and I know that. And obviously making a conscious effort still to try to not be such a Debbie Downer. Shout out Patrick Hanna, Debbie Does Dallas. Got a lot of background noise in here. Now that I'm wearing the headphones, I can hear it. Does that bother you guys? If it does, let me know. Wow, so I'm going to have to change the title of this from the movie talk to something else because it's definitely not about movies anymore. I'm sorry I did that. I don't know why I do that. I was talking to a buddy of mine in the Small Beans Discord yesterday about just a very dark situation. We have a similar situation that affected us in a big way, and he was telling a story about his situation, and I talked to him about mine, which I'm not going to go into, but has been brought up on this podcast before. I just feel like I feel like there was an opportunity for me to reach out and say, hey man, you're not alone in this situation. Like I've been in a similar situation, and we swapped stories, and it was a good thing to find camaraderie within something that's so dark in your life. So I'm sorry that this totally took a really dark turn really fast. Wow, I really apologize for this. But no, now we're getting some sort of cell phone noise. It's nice to find comfort in something so dark, if you will, like just knowing that somebody else went through that. And I guess I use the scary movies for that. I like watching movies in which people have been possessed. I don't know why, but I like watching movies in which people have been possessed because I feel like that is a very, very well described way to define anxiety almost. And anxiety acts a lot like a demon does in a movie. It robs you of your confidence. It takes on an entire role of its own and starts living your life for you, basically. And demons do the same thing in those scary movies that I like. And that's a really, really, really good analogy for someone who does not understand what anxiety is. And that's probably got another reason, another thing to do with why I usually don't want to end up drive. I wish that I could apparate. I wish that I could do the Harry Potter thing. I wish I could apparate from one place to another and just be there instantly. And I would be there for as long as I mean, if I could do that, obviously I would be there all the time. But the anxiety and the pressure, the mental pressure that I get from knowing that I've got to drive just a couple of hours away. And then when I get done to have the awkward conversation about, oh man, why don't you stay with us for a little while? And I'm like, I just feel so awkward when I'm asked that, because I just want to be at my house. I just want to be home. When I go to bed, I want to be the only one here. You know, I don't know why that is. I don't know what happened in my life that made me want to just literally be alone all the time. But that's kind of what I want. And I don't know why, or like I said, what happened that caused that. But for some reason, that's just the kind of brain I got. Wow, I'm really sorry that I'm just venting to you guys about, dude, like you're Barbara Walters or something. Like I'm in therapy. But I think you guys have realized that I do use this as a vessel of basically just things to vent, just things to say, and I use this as an opportunity to roast myself, I guess, or just to air out things that I need to get out. Weird. So, in the future, in this month on the podcast, we are going to have a few great guests on. Brother Nick Andalora, I think, is signed on for this coming Wednesday. I haven't confirmed again, but I'm pretty sure he's on for this Wednesday. And Alicia's going to be coming back. Alicia that just did the last episode with me, she's going to be coming back. I'm going to try to get our secret guest, old Johnny Ray Rusty Blackhawk, in here to talk about some music and different things that we didn't get to finish in the last episode that got cut short a little bit. Also, my brother Scott Mann, who has been doing some amazing things. Oh, wow. Well, all right. There's a huge thought that I just had in the middle of this. Let me finish the Scott Mann plug first. Scott Mann has been doing some awesome things in the wake of Hurricane Florence in this area, and there's been a lot of neighborhoods in our area that have flooded, and that have a lot of people who have lost very literally everything that they own. And Scott Mann has, from my viewpoint, been at the forefront of leading up or heading up awareness for this situation. He has a very, very loud voice, and I don't mean that literally, but also literally. He has a very, very loud voice in this community, and he is using that voice in the best of ways to bring light to a situation that a lot of people would not have known about otherwise. And he has put beacons out to get Steve Hartman to come to the Midtown. I'm pretty sure it's called the Midtown Hotel. I don't know if it's, I know it's called Midtown, but Midtown is, and I'm so sorry to the owner, but I owe you more respect than this to not know your name. But the owner of the Midtown Hotel in Myrtle Beach opened his doors to people who had nowhere to go, people whose houses were flooded. And every day at the Midtown, there has been something going on that is uplifting. Barefoot Wade played music for them. They're having movie night tonight. I just saw Scott Mann put out on Facebook earlier that they're doing movie night tonight for all these people. And it's just, when you hear about places like Houston that got flooded, And all I saw in the news was the fact that these people were looting here. This group of people were not allowing the people who needed somewhere to go to come in. This church was not allowing people to come into their facility. And it's just a lot of negativity that I heard about that situation. And this really bothers me about how, and Scott Mann hit it on the head, that there is no coverage. There's no coverage right now of the fact that Myrtle Beach just had a literal crisis. And all the surrounding areas were in the middle of a literal crisis, and there was no negative news to report. Obviously, if you dig, you'll find anything negative that you can report, but there's no large problems. Nothing has. The only negative news that can be reported out of this entire fiasco, and I'm pretty sure I've said this before on the podcast. I think that me and Alicia talked about it. I'm not sure if me and Esteban talked about it or not, but either way, if we haven't, and you're hearing this story for the first time, I can't believe I forgot to tell you. So there is a guy named Tom or Tim Koronek. I can't remember which one it was, but that's unimportant. If you search Myrtle Beach sandbag guy, you'll find his name. So this guy went to the high school where they were filling up sandbags for free. They were filling up sandbags for people for free so that they could blockade their houses and keep the water from going in. This guy, who owns a towing company out of Pawleys Island, South Carolina, pulled his tow truck up to this place. And I saw another interview of a guy, I can't remember his name either. I saw a live video he posted yesterday, who said he saw this guy and he was like, "That's really cool, man. A guy's using he's taking his tow company and his tow truck, and he's going out and helping people." He's like, "That's awesome." So then they found out that this guy was selling said sandbags, and the price continually changes. I don't know what or who keeps posting these prices, but I've heard $6 a bag, $7, $10. I've heard all different prices, and I'm sure that they're probably all true. But anyway, this guy loaded up basically a dump truck, for lack of a better explanation, a hauler. Like, I think it was like a 2-car hauler, maybe a 1-car hauler. But basically a dump truck with sandbags, and just started driving around and selling them to people. This man took money from elderly people and took money from all these folks and promised them sandbags and did not deliver. So he literally took money. And the guy who posted the live video that I saw last night called him and said, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing taking advantage of these people who need help and they need these sandbags to keep water out of their houses? And you're sitting here being you're sitting here just pretty much being an absolute piece of shit." And he used a lot stronger words than that. And the guy was literally like, "I'm making money, 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 money." He just kept repeating money. And I'm like, dude, that is such a shitty thing to do. Such a shitty way to be. Like, this guy doesn't realize the capacity of his situation, I don't think, because he has drawn the attention of a lot of iffy groups of people, if you catch my drift. Like, there's a very popular motorcycle gang that Cornbread, my band, has done a few benefits for over the last few years that we will not name any names, but they are very interested in this guy. And that's just not the kind of people you want interested in you. And I don't know. It's not the kind of people you want interested in you in that way. Anyway, that's the only negative news that can be reported in this area, is that there's this one shithead who took free sandbags and sold them to people and made he's texted friends who have posted screenshots, and once people found out who he was and or wasn't their friend, quote unquote, they've posted screenshots of how much money this guy has made or claiming to have made. And that is just the most embarrassing thing that we have to report here in Myrtle Beach. Other than that, everything is so positive. There are people there were hundreds of people who showed up to this high school and probably tens of like literally thousands of people who showed up in certain areas to fill up sandbags for people who needed help. There was just so many, outpouring of help and love, and everybody was on the same page throughout this thing except this one guy. And coming from an area like Myrtle Beach, who gets Myrtle Beach gets a lot of negativity around it. And this was just a breath of fresh air to see our community pull in together and do something this awesome. And I don't know. I'm very proud of where I'm from. I'm very proud of where I live right now. I'm very proud of the folks around me, and I'm very proud of everything that they have done. And Smitty went out and filled some sandbags at the high school the other day. Scott Mann's been doing all of these live videos, raising awareness, and he's bringing Steve Hartman to the beach. And Google who Steve Hartman is, because I had to Google who he is. He does a Sunday night show on, is it CME? I'm not gonna say the network because I'm not sure which one it is. But he's coming to Myrtle Beach to do a story on the Midtown, and it's just it's a feel good story, and it's an opportunity that someone had to do the right thing and be a good person, and they took absolute advantage of that situation. Not bad advantage, but they took they made every, what's the word I'm looking for? They made the best of being a good person, and that's a feel good story, and we need more of those in the world. Wow, this was a wreck of an episode, and if you've made it this far, congratulations. And I'm sorry that I totally rambled all out. I started this thing out thinking I was going to talk about movies, but we see how that went. All right. So, things that I'm going to ask you to watch. Watch Cheers. American Horror Story has just started. Apocalypse. I think it's a Wednesday night thing. Maybe Tuesdays. I'm not sure. Watch them all on demand, so not sure what day they come out. But anyway, they're all up. They're all on demand. They're not on Hulu yet. But I'm sure that they will be. I don't know how that works. I'm new to the Hulu. But anyway, watch that. Castle Rock I've completed on Hulu. I know you guys, I've already told you to watch that, but definitely check that out. I also watched, what was it that I watched? Oh man, I'm drawing a blank now. Oh yeah, I watched Maniac on Netflix. I think I've already told you guys about that, but in case you missed that, don't miss that. Watch that show. Also, Quincy documentary. Oh, Nina Simone was the one that I was trying to think of. It's called something Miss Simone. Or how are you, Miss Simone? Or where are you, Miss Simone? Or something about Miss Simone. If you type in Simone, watch that documentary because it is absolutely amazing. Nina Simone, one of the greatest voices and people ever in the history of the world. And yeah, watch that. Listen to... I've really been listening to Rumors, Fleetwood Mac. I've been listening to that album nonstop over the last couple of weeks. I've also been listening to Talking Heads Speaking in Tongues a lot. I listened to Revolver the other day, the Beatles record. I, per Scott Mann's request, bought Deep Purple, Machine Head, and that album is awesome. Check out that album if you've never heard it. It's 100% rock and roll, and that's all there is to it. But anyway, got Outkast Aquemini over there. Check out the Aquemini if you haven't heard Aquemini. It's my favorite album, my favorite rap album of all time for sure. All right. I'm sorry I floated all around in this one again, but we'll get back on track, and we'll have some folks to talk to next week. Stay tuned for the news on that. I'm going to plug all of the things in the intro, so I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to let you guys get on with your life. That's all I got for you. I love you. Be good people. Choose to be a good person. You're given a choice every day. Choose to be a good person. Don't be a dick. All right. Love you. Mean it. All right, let's do this intro. I'm really sorry that I'm going to just, I'll cover that here. Hey guys, how you living? Are you doing well? Good. So glad to hear that. So I'm going to go ahead and apologize right off the bat. I bounced way the fuck around in this one. I started off by thinking I was going to talk about movies, but then I got distracted somehow because I can't even remember what I was thinking about, but I got distracted and I started talking about my birthday and how I get just depressed around the time of my birthday, and then that ended up leading into me talking about random family members who have died throughout the holidays and just linked to my depression, and that ended up going into me talking about the aftermath of Hurricane Florence here in this in my area, and how proud I am of how the community has reacted to that. So this episode bounces way around. If you can make it to the end, congratulations. And if you can't, I understand, because I know how I am, and this is no different. Anyway, sorry, I rambled this bad in the episode too, and I apologize for that. So please go to the MI Stuff Facebook page, like the Facebook page. Please go to Kelsey Hudgens YouTube, subscribe to KELSEYHUDGINS YouTube, and subscribe. Please go to Sunset Grill, subscribe. Go to Cast Iron Skillet and subscribe. We're going to start doing some more of those in the future. The Outlet, sponsored by Better Brands and Brackfoot. That is a page on Facebook. We're going to be doing this thing on Tuesday nights at Bubba's Love Shack. Myself and Noah Byrne, I will be handling the technical side. Noah Byrne will be handling the hosting side. I will probably be technically co-hosting, but from a different spot. So I'm going to be doing that. There's going to be open mic. There's going to be music. There's going to be comedy. So there's all sorts of things that's going to be going on for on Tuesdays at Bubba's Love Shack. And there's also bingo. So if nobody shows up to do open mic, or there's no stand-ups or anything like that, there's still going to be bingo. So there's always going to be something going on. There's always going to be something to do. So there's that. All right. Shout out to our sponsors, Atlanta Braves, Nike, Samson. Who am I missing? I'm missing something. What am I missing? Here we go. Live from the Screwball Whiskey Studios. That's right. Screwball Whiskey Studios, Screwball Whiskey, Peanut Butter Whiskey. You know, someone who doesn't drink, I do not mind the peanut butter whiskey because my brother Kerry, whom I love, is one of the proprietors of this Screwball Whiskey. Go to screwballwhiskey.com and read up about what that thing's about. So, I'm not going to ramble anymore because I did a good job of that in the episode. So, without further ado, episode number 66 of MI Stuff. Enjoy, motherfuckers. All right, now let's. Is one of the proprietors of this Screwball Whiskey. Go to Screwball Whiskey. Pause the YouTube. It was on the whole time, but the volume was down. Copy that. Copy that. Sorry, guys. It's been we did a gig last night at where's that? All right. Is that all right? But no, that's a but. Here's all right. All right. I love it when I can find them just by sight. Now, how do we do here? Oh, we did really good. My favorite rap album of all time. Oh, no. That's a different all right. I need another all right. Where's the other all right? That's an all right, huh? All right. Look at that. Why do I get so excited over this silly stuff? Now, do we at least make it to? Yes, we do. Talk about movies, but we see how that went. All right. So, things that I'm going. We'll go ahead and bump up the volume on that a bit for the good folks. Once it gets mixed down in MP3, it always loses some ass behind it, you know. Put a volume stop there, volume stop there, drag this down. And fade that out. We'll give it a long fade on it today on this one. Good number 66 of MI Stuff. Enjoy, motherfuckers. So before I started recording this, I made a fool of myself. Not really. It was kind of funny. I was doing a countdown for recording on audio when I'm the only one here. There's no need for a countdown, Major Tom. All right, so today, you hear how hoarse I am? Today, we're going to talk about movies. There was a conversation on Facebook the other day about Charles Freeman brought up, or who was it? Charles Freeman brought it up, or Nick and was it Nick and no? I know Jeff Thomas mentioned something about it. Anyway, the point of the story is there's a lot of very popular pop culture movies that I have not seen. For instance, I watched Star Wars, the entire Star Wars catalog, for the first time in recent history, like within the last 5 years, like 3 to 5 years. I watched, and this all started because I said that I'm watching Cheers. I just started watching Cheers on Netflix, which I encourage you to do if you've never done, but I feel like I'm the only one who's never watched Cheers. So, started watching that, and I was very stoked with that show, and I put on Facebook, I don't know how I've gone this long without watching Cheers. So, that sprung the comments that all right, love you, mean it. Nailed it. All right, love you, mean it. Oh, hey, we're still up. Look at that. All right. Well, looks like I got nothing else for you. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you being here with me. Love you. Mean it.